Hello lovely yoga students and welcome to this video. So this is week 5 of the first 6 weeks of the 12-week term on animals. So this week we're looking at butterfly, and I've also added bee onto it because they both pupate in a different way, but they do both pupate, and we're going to work in the lesson. We're going to work with the bee breath. We won't be able to do that here, I'm afraid, because there's not time. So if you want to do it, then come to the class. And I also just want to say as well that obviously from the videos you're getting a sort of snippet really, and often what we're doing is quite rushed because obviously in the class there's a lot more time. So do take care, do make sure that you're properly warmed up before you I mean, obviously I'm doing some warming up things with you, but just make sure that your body feels ready before you go into any of the postures. Obviously I've been preparing beforehand, so I am you know, quite warm, so just make sure that your body's ready. Okay. So come and join me on the mat. I'm going to come and sit down, hopefully you'll see. So sitting down and coming into a comfortable seat, whatever that is for you. And we are going to begin, as always, just by coming into a quiet, slightly meditative state, closing the eyes or lowering the gaze, and just finding yourself with your breath, moving in and out gently through the nose. Just being aware of how your nose feels, of the gentle movement of the chest and the lungs, just to get ourselves ready to begin. Beautiful. So we're going to begin by just putting the hands down by the sides, and we're simply going to start to bump the knees up and down. So this is just like a sort of a tiny little demonstration of butterfly wings here. So it may be that your legs are up here and you're just doing that, and that's absolutely fine, just wherever you are. If you're sitting like this, you can always just go like that with them. It's the same thing. So just moving the knees up and down gently, just to begin warming up the legs. Lovely. And then we're just going to take a very gentle twist, so coming to stillness with the legs. We're just going to take hand onto the opposite knee, other hand out behind, breathing in, looking to the side, and then gently rotating into the twist. And then coming to the other way, so the other hand onto the other leg, other one behind, and inhaling in and moving gently into the twist on the exhale. Beautiful. Then we're going to come back to the beginning, so at the middle, and we're going to raise one arm up. It doesn't really matter which one you do. And with this arm, take that hand behind you so that you kind of touch the top of your back if you can. And then we're going to bring the other arm up, take hold of this elbow and just give it a little bit of a pull, just to open up the backs of both those arms, but particularly the one where you're holding that elbow, that one there will be hopefully opening up the armpit there. So bring the other one up. Oh, that was the same one. Bring the other one up and drop it behind, and take hold of that with the other hand and just opening up. I've got various hair things in my hair that are getting in the way here, so if I look a bit awkward, that's why. So just breathing and trying to be as relaxed as you can in the pose. Beautiful. So we're going to do something slightly different to what we normally do here. Normally we come into cactus arms here. We're going to do the opposite here. So from here we're going to raise the elbows up So we're doing it the other way, so you're sort of lifting your shoulders up and your elbows up, and then once you get up you're going to try and relax your shoulders, but see if you can keep your elbows up, and then come down. It's quite intense, so just do what you can, thinking about arms underneath, hands underneath the elbows. As you raise up, once you're up, try and just relax the shoulders down a bit and keeping the elbows where they are. Beautiful. And then we're going to just take the hands out behind us and interlace the fingers behind. You can't see my fingers, but I'm interlace the fingers behind me. Taking the hands away, I'll just turn around so you can see what I do. Taking the hands away, and then just see if you can lift the hand, take the hands away from the body a little bit. And we're going to bring them all the way round, and take a hug like we did last week. So grabbing hold of opposite shoulders here, giving yourself, we did a wolf hug last week, so we can do that again. We're going to come back round to the other side, and when you grab hands, just try and do it the other way, so you've got the other thumb on top, and again pushing the hands away, and then coming back round and crossing the hands in the opposite way to the way you did it the first time. Beautiful. So coming down onto the mat, I'm going to invite you to come and lie down on the mat into semi-supine. We're not going to spend very long here. We're just going to take one knee down to the side and then bring that knee back up. Take the other knee down to the side. I mean, for me, those two knees, the two hip joints here feel so different. And then taking the soles of the feet together and just dropping the knees out, as long as that feels comfortable. And then from here, we're going to just do that same thing that we were doing, but we're going to do it from lying down. So just very gently, just jumping, bouncing, that's the word, but just bouncing the knees up and down, just only doing it a little bit. It's quite interesting, this. So you could always stop the video and do that a bit longer if you want to do more, but we haven't really got time. So I'm just going to rock on the back here, and then we're going to roll over to the side. In the lesson we'll probably do quite a lot more on our backs. Anyway, so we're going to come up to all fours here, and this is where we're going to start pretending to be a caterpillar. So we've been an egg, we've hatched out into a caterpillar, and we're going to just take some cat and cow to mimic the caterpillar's sort of way that it moves. So just seeing if you can think of yourself as a caterpillar, moving the body around and then maybe going the other way. So just, it's a bit organic here, but we're just sort of moving the spine in sort of caterpillarish ways. Just working with the breath organically here, however it feels. And then from here we're going to do something a bit different. So I'm going to turn to face you here so that you can see what I'm doing. So we're still in all fours, but what we're going to do here, hopefully you'll be able to see me, is you're going to inhale and lift one knee out to the side and hold it for a moment, and then we're going to inhale again. So we'll have exhaled, then inhale again and bring the other arm out, and then coming back to the middle and inhale, bringing that arm, that leg up, and then exhaling, and then inhale, taking the other hand out. So as I say, in the lesson we'll work a bit more with that, so you can always stop the video and do it a bit more, do it a few times. I would suggest doing that. So then we're going to come back to all fours, and we're going to do a similar thing to what we were doing before with the cat and cow, but we're going to be much more organic here. So we're going to imagine ourselves as this caterpillar. We're beginning to feel a bit strange. there's something happening and we don't really know what it is. So we're going to start to wriggle around in a bit of an odd way, whatever feels right. But gradually, as we move, we're going to start to begin to get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until we come to land in this curled up position here. This is child's pose. So we're in this curled up position here. If you can't do this way up, you can always come and lie on your back. And even if you've got a bit of a dodgy knee that won't thingy properly, you can always just, if your knee's like that or whatever, you can always just come here and you can even lift your head up if you want to, maybe put a cushion underneath just to try and be in this curled up position. So that's what we're doing. So we're curled up into a little chrysalis, or a little cell inside a hive if you're being a bee. So we're just going to be here for a moment, just experiencing what it's like to be very still. And it's very mysterious what happens inside the chrysalis and the bee cell. I mean, nobody really knows what happens because it's so extraordinary, but there is this incredible transformation that happens there. So we're going to imagine that it's been however long it takes for the butterfly and the bee to pupate, and then we're going to start waking up, and what we're going to do is we're going to take one hand forward, stretching through this side body here, and then we're going to walk that hand over to the side, really opening up that side, so it's a slight side bend, and then bring that hand back, go over with the other one, walking over to the other side, opening up that side. Beautiful. We're going to come back, and now we're going to take the arms forward, both arms forward, and we're going to bring the body up, so we're coming up into a sort of all fours thing, but onto the elbows, and then so we're just waking up here. We're beginning to wake up and thinking about coming out of our chrysalis. So we're going to take the arms forward again, taking them forward. So we're coming into the puppy pose here, but this is sort of stretching out, beginning to stretch our limbs, beginning to think that maybe something's happening and we're going to break out of our cell or our chrysalis. So from here, just looking at my notes to remember what we're doing next. Oh yes, that's it. So from here, we're going to come forwards, tucking the toes, and we're going to come into plank. So we're revisiting what we've been doing the last couple of weeks with coming up into plank, so taking some weight onto the hands, imagining yourself lifting up through the chest here. Come down and have a rest if this feels too much. If not, we're going to do some quite intense things with the legs. So what we did last week was we lifted the knee up to the same knee, to an elbow to the opposite elbow. So you can do that with each leg. Have a rest if you want to, stop the video. But then what we're going to do is we're going to take that knee outside and to the elbow, and the other one. So I would suggest, because I'm not going to do much more of that now, I would suggest stopping the video, play around with that a little bit. It's quite intense. Have a little rest, come back and do a bit more. You know, we'll be doing a bit with it in the class, so play around with it a bit and then start the video again. So we're waking up from our chrysalis, and this is where we're going to come into our toe squat that we've been working with a lot over the weeks. So Again, if this just doesn't work for you, then just coming down with the tops of the feet down. But if it's good, if you feel like you're getting a bit, you know, better at it, then, you know, either sitting down there or coming up here and just taking some weight into it is so good for the toes. And here we're going to do a little bit of something with our hands. So what we were doing earlier, taking the hands back and stretching them out behind. But what we're going to do now is I'm going to turn around. I can't do this very well. Some people can do it a lot better than me because I've got quite tight shoulders. But what we're going to try and do is to bring the hands behind like this and touch the fingers, and see if you can make a little sort of prayer hand thing behind. That's about as far as I can go. Yeah, some people can get right up into their back, but that's about as far as I can go. If you can't do that, if it's too much, then you can always do the other way and put the backs of the hands together, and that, you know, and then you can push them up and just see where you can come to with that. That's a much easier version of it. So wherever you're at, whichever one you're doing, whether you're up here or whatever. So I'm going to try and get my fingers together. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to imagine ourselves that we've just come out of our thing and we're going to start to fly. We're going to attempt to fly. So what we're going to do is we're going to step forward with one leg into a lovely lunge. So we're going to lunge forward, looking back. I've still got my hands in prayer position behind. So this is me getting ready to fly. And then I'm going to bring my hands out, and you can always put your hands down to help you up if you want to. We're going to bring the hands through and stand up, coming into warrior one, but with wide hands here. So this is us flying. Then we're going to bring the hands outside, a bit behind us again, interlacing the fingers again, doing what we were doing earlier, and back bending, trying to take the hands away. I can't go very far. And then we're going to keep the hands in that position, coming down and coming into humble warrior. So we're taking our head all the way down as far as it'll go, arms coming up above the head, and then we're going to drop, oh no, sorry, and then we're going to come back up, sorry, we're going to come back up and come back up into warrior one with the, so we're flying again. Going to come back down, and this time when you interlace the fingers, cross them the other way, so the other thumb's on top, taking them out behind, and again down into humble warrior. Then you can come down and have a rest if you want to, or we can just come straight back into the toe squat. So same thing, but we're just going to do the whole thing on the other side. So from here, stepping forward with the other leg, back bend, so we're opening ourselves up, and then we're going to begin to learn to fly. So coming up, put this back foot down so that it goes to the side of it. You can't actually see me, I've just realised, but anyway, so coming up into warrior one, and then hands behind and taking those hands out as far as you can. Humble warrior, coming down. That's it. And then coming up again into warrior one. My hands are off the screen. And coming back down, interlacing the fingers the other way, so whichever way you did it before. Coming back into a back bend, and then forwards into humble warrior, and then coming down. Lovely. And then just as, where am I? Just as a very last little thing before we finish, we're just going to come back into all fours and come up very gently into the dog, and just have a moment here, breathing here, trying to be as relaxed as you can before you come down. Lovely. So that is, there's more to it, but that is basically this week's practice. Hope you enjoy it, and as I say, if you want to get more out of the practice, do come and join us at one of the classes. So I'm here at my place Wednesday mornings and evenings. I'm in Rhayader between quarter to one, is that right? Yeah, quarter to one and 2 o'clock. And then I'm in Lanurted at 3 o'clock. So yeah, so it would be lovely to see anybody. And as always, if you are not able to come to the classes but would like to support me, then I will put my bank details in the thing, and you're really welcome to make a donation. Buy me a cup of coffee, as they say. So lots of love to everybody, and hope to see you sometime. Bye.